So I hit the game resume button a little bit too soon. You guys heard that. Whatever, but we're back into it. It's game number 1. We're in the losers match, and diasodium chloride. He asked us in chat, this is a rebroadcast? The answer to that is no. This is a live cast with no stream delay. What? Of replays that nobody knows the results of, and were done in secret 4 or 5 days ago. More on that in a moment. You guys, of course, are watching the TING Open, powered by Corsair. Getting closer and closer to those offline finals here at the end of the month. In fact, 22 days to be precise until we are going to have those round of 4 matches. But still here in the round of 32. Losers match. Someone's about to be eliminated. And in the bottom left, we have the red Protoss player stats.
In the bottom right is the pink Protoss. He is super.
Rapid Casting says, I'm so happy BaseTradeTV decided to only cast in replays from now on. It was a tough business decision to make, but it's one that ultimately made sense at the end of the day. Actually, if we could real talk for a second, I don't really care about the aspect of like casting a replay or not. Zombie Group has different opinions on this. For me, I have none. But what I do wish is that there was a way that we could cast live with you guys more often. I know it's not much, and it's not like a big deal, but for me, just having that no delay, I feel like a lot closer to the audience. We get to have a lot more fun. Like it totally sucks knowing that I have to go back to like a 3-minute delay standard after done the replay cast today.
I don't know, in some cases it's really fun.
In some cases, no, you know what the best part about this is? Because we're not 3 minutes like constantly living in the past through chat, dumb topics that we want to die and let go will actually be let go instead of being brought back again 3 minutes from now.
No, yeah, that's what's fun about it. I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, it's kind of funny that you would say it in have a troll manner because, you know, if like we really did like an experiment for a month or something, there might actually be some credit to it, but I just certainly don't want to live in that world. I don't know, man. I gotta feel like I'm influencing the outcome. Come on, stats, I'm rooting for you.
Oh, you're talking about the replay aspect, yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I gotta root for the chat that's in 3-minute delay.
Yeah, see, that's what I was...
Huh?
This is not how you transition a conversation, Zombie Grub.
Sorry. Super is going to send his adepts across the map. Stats has 1 stalker.
Well, so here's...
2 stalkers.
Here's the thing, though. We've actually seen this evident in a lot of things like Elite League and other events. Super's actually got really good PvP. Like, sure. I do like stats a lot. I would even very slightly favor stats in the series, but I want to make it totally clear, like, Super absolutely has the potential to 2-1 or 2-0 stats.
Yeah, I think that Super could get out of the group, but losing a Kelzer 2-0 in such a fashion is actually going to make me a little bit worried about what his form was, I guess, of the day. I do like that he's not sending the Adepts in. Stats had a probe that maybe is going to put on a pylon, but decides not to, or just waiting to get a better scout. Kind of unfortunate that Super isn't committing any more units, so the Stalkers take it out. All it saw was that was a Nexus, which I guess is still a good scout.
A couple of probe kills, too. I'll let you get that sub shout-out.
Let it be known, the proper way of pronouncing my name is now disodium chloride. Thank you for the 26-month resub.
I'm sorry, man. I gave up on that name 25 months ago. I gave up on that name.
Is that difficult? Is it?
Yes, it is.
Is it? Is it Rifcan? Your name's Rifcan, not Rifcan.
Oh, Jessica, I'm using your real name Jessica. So that you know I'm being serious. What's your middle name?
You know it.
I don't remember.
It's so easy, man. It's like you're saying both my first and last name.
Chernega.
My first and last name.
The J instead of the Ch.
Oh my god. You know what? You don't deserve to know what it is.
Jessica.
No, never mind. Anyway.
Okay, you know what? Jessica Elizabeth Chernega, you go to your room right now.
What a good guess. What a good guess. So close. You're only like 6 letters off. A couple probes go down. Not so much to be said there. And we do have, you know, the standard Blink Twilight Council Robo openers just in a little bit different times. So stats, they get that Warp Prism with the earlier Robo, and it's kind of getting revenge for the probe kills.
Yep. This is not exactly devastating, though. He will pick up and get out of there. The overcharge was a nice touch, but yeah, now the Stalker's in position, that Warp Prism shouldn't be able to get back in too easily. The thing is, though, this is a really very, very scary looming threat out of stats. Like, he actually can't just ignore this Warp Prism or it'll be bad times real quick.
Bad times,
That 6-range pickup, that was kind of nice. Overcharge helps drive that off. I think one of the things that's cool about this, though, is they are both going for Blink. They both got their Robos, and this looks like it's that direction of classic PvP, where, okay, there might be some emphasis on gateway units now, but they're both probably thinking of things like Disruptors in the long run.
Oh, they might be. The real thing is that, so a lot of PvPs lately have just been like one person go Disruptors, the other person doesn't, which is kind of funny, because I feel like that's not some gentleman's agreement they make before the game.
Yeah, actually, it's weird because I'd say in the Korean scene, it's been a little bit more prevalent than we've seen in the foreign scene. Like, foreign scene's still pretty much all playing the same way all the time, always. But the Koreans, like, even go back like 6 months, they've been trying to make Charged Out Archon like a bigger deal and find better timings
Charged
for
Archon, yeah. Or you see a couple of Protosses try and just win with Blink. You know, aggressive Blink timing so the Disruptors count gets really high. I think if you get Disruptors, it is the better composition. But it's, you know, it still has to do with control and positioning and all that. So, I mean, I think it's clear that Stats is going to go for Disruptors, already, you know, getting the Robotics Bay. But this is like, you bring it up because Super is still kind of in question. Doesn't put it down, went for a faster third. No other tech on the way, not charge. It's you know, still waiting.
Took a little bit of time to clean up those Adepts in the mineral line. Nice blink at the last second there. But he does clean them up. Third base is finishing up shortly. My concern, though, is this third... Stats doesn't have like a massive army lead, but like having that one extra immortal goes a long way.
Yeah. Yeah, especially if you're both gonna go Blink Stalkers.
No, back up. How is that like your first and last name?
Do you see how I wrote it?
Oh, god damn it, I hate you so much.
Oh, that work is dead. Bye-bye. Yep.
I'm so mad because it's stupid, but it's a good pun, so I gotta respect it too. It's just like, ah!
Oh, I'm glad you approve.
Your middle name's stupid, and this is coming from a guy whose middle name is Hiroshi, okay?
I don't get to say it too often, man.
Guardian Shield goes up, but this is where the Disruptor becomes really scary. Like, it's going to be on a long cooldown now. It's going to be a while before it can fire again, but all it needs is one good shot, and Super gets torn apart. But he blinks in aggressively, gets on top of the Immortals. He knows there's no Disruptor shot because it is on cooldown, so he gets aggressive, but the problem is he gets close, and all it does is bring him closer to death.
Yeah, well, the Immortals are getting free shots, you know? Like, there are so many of them, and they didn't go to that quickly. Super just... Well, I didn't like the blink game, but I also didn't really like his composition, so...
I think he dropped the ball with the way that fight went down. I mean, composition aside for a moment, I just thought that was not super well handled. No pun actually intended. But okay, next game is going to be on Abyssal Reef. Does anyone use any other maps in this tournament? That's the real question.
No, they thought these were the maps.
It's just like, guys, this is a Newkirk Abyssal Proxima only tournament.
Severe Lima League.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll go to the intro and see you guys here in a moment. Enjoy Under the Sea, which is definitely not what this is, because that would be copyright violations. Hey, everybody, welcome back from the intro, I guess. Not really a break. I guess we're just kind of skirting along with the groups here pretty quick. Still in the losers match, though, and currently in the bottom right, he's up one game in this best of three. We've got Splice's Stats.
In the top left, the pink Protoss. He is super.
Zombie Up, I just want to quickly give you a shout out and say thanks for always casting with me. You are one of my most favorite people, and I'm glad you're just such a good person.
Ditto.
Ditto. Well, my favorite attribute about you is how not lazy you are. You've got such a good work ethic. You're always putting in that hard work.
Look, okay, I just want to say that I was yelling at the guy for you. Okay, that was not me.
Yelling at who? What are you talking about?
You know.
I'm just...
By the way, since you brought it up when no one else could hear, but I also bring it up. I learned how to say this bitch in Korean. Which,
go on.
I'm very happy of.
Go on.
I'm not gonna say it.
No, isn't that how you say it? Go on.
One?
How do you say it?
I don't want to say. Okay. Okay. But I'm just saying that I'm adding to my repertoire of Korean curse words. So I'll know whenever the pro gamers curse in chat.
Guys, I know how to speak fluent French, but I'm not going to prove it to you because I don't need to, okay?
You're not going to bait me into that. You're not going to bait me.
I pretty easily can. I just simply need to say, Zombie Grub, you can't do it. I don't think you can.
I'm not drunk. Can't do it right now. Hey, do you want to play Sid with me after?
I mean, sure, unrelated, why?
You'll be saying this bitch all the time, because that's what I'm going to be drinking with.
Oh, are you doing a drunk stream after this?
I am, yes.
Okay, because the mods were talking about that. I'm like, we didn't talk about getting drunk for the cast today. Like, I don't know what...
I fixed it, like, shortly after, but you were probably doing something.
Yeah, I was getting the stream
out. They're talking about.
Doing the heavy lifting. I know you're not used to it, but...
Pressing the go button and putting the music on, and then I saw you dance. That's probably what you were doing.
You saw me?
Yes, I did. So, yeah, the heavy lifting, all right. Whatever, man.
Why are you watching?
I pre-set up my stuff, you know? I gotta open Firefox, go to Twitch alerts, I gotta put twitch.tv/BaseTradeTV on Chrome, and then it just popped into you dancing.
Well, that's because I was busting a move. So let's get the terminology right, okay? I got grooves and jams for days. I don't just simply dance, okay, Zombie Grub? It is an art.
Of course it is. Of course it is. Oh god, anyway, another somewhat, I guess, standard opener here for both players, and that is to say, like, amongst non-standard things, I guess there's proxy pylons of any variety, proxy stargates, there's, you know, stargate openers, which can turn into macro, and then I don't think there's many other things you can do to really be that weird. I guess there are some, like, 3-gate builds, but that still kind of ties in with the proxy pylon idea, but anyway.
I really like what Stats did. It didn't work out here, obviously, but he knew walking up that ramp would just be free shots from the high ground, so he took the long... It sucks taking the long way like that, but it guaranteed that he wasn't going to get totally screwed by the stalkers, and as we can see, actually managed to walk away from this fight pretty easily. Yeah. A fight he would have lost. So, back at home, both players... Wait, did he just cancel his robo? No, he finished. Never mind. Sorry. Excuse me.
Yeah. Well, I was looking at Super because I just realized he put on 2 gateways, so... I mean, he's getting to 3 gateways, which is not a lot, but it's more interesting because you open up with 1 gateway. So when I said that it was normal, I guess I was you know, incorrect a little bit there, but
normies.
It kind of doesn't matter because, well, it does matter in that he got a probe lead from this, but that, you know, it didn't mean that Stats was being aggressive and suddenly he dies and only had 1 gateway, you know, which is, you know, somewhat of a fear. And he's just gonna, you know, catch up on the production, have actually really decently timed blink, a really fast third base, and he could just control the map a bit here. Yeah, especially if he gets a Warp Prism with that Robo. A couple of Adepts off to the left, Blinkstalker's on the right, and, you know, Stats might have a difficult time getting his own third. We'll see. I mean, he has his own Warp Prism. He might get the better end of the pressure here.
Well, he's certainly going to be the one who starts with it at least. I will say, Super getting that Nexus down really fast, though, that's hugely advantageous. Like, this is... Stats has to actually cause a very significant amount of damage to even scratch Super, and the fact that I don't think he even knows about the third, right? Checking the vision. No, he didn't even see the third go down. Normally in PvP, like if you see that third, you immediately match it with your own Nexus. You stop what you're doing, you cancel the Immortal, you get that Nexus down, but right now, Stats is still making a lot of units and kind of getting, I want to say almost forced. Like, not necessarily because like he was made to, but just due to the build order, forced it into like an all-in. Because he's gonna realize, oh, I'm already really behind on the Nexus. He'll get over here now and see this finishing. Like, this is too late for him to start his own, and Super's already ready to attack on the front lines.
Yeah. Now, I mean, keep in mind, Super did give up something to do this. He got a head start. It's absolutely true, and the third base timing is amazing. But he did give up Immortal production. I don't think he's at fear, though, especially if he gets this Immortal. That's actually super nice of being counterattacked.
He blinked into an Immortal Fire with a lot of Stalkers, into a Sentry that was Guardian Shielding. Like, that was a crazy risky move, because that could have backfired on him terribly. Another Immortal comes out, Overcharge goes off, he just blinks away to disengage, and while this goes on, I mean, it's not about going all in for Super, it's just making sure Stats doesn't take a third.
For sure. Yeah, this is giving Super an amazing position. If Stats' second Immortal was like right behind that army and Super like blinked in like he did, that probably backfires pretty badly, but the timing ended up being perfect, and again, by the time Stats tries to counter thinking, okay, well, I gotta have more Immortals, right? It'll be one more Immortal and, you know, not much else, which I don't think would give him enough of an advantage to win, to do the damage he needs to do for being so late on his third base. But there's not really a problem with trying to still play out the macro game, especially if you can get the disruptors. But we're seeing a lot of Protosses not just let the game get to disruptor, hey, you get a good shot, it's all back to equal. We're seeing a lot more Protosses add the Stargates and kind of keep their lead because they just do away with the whole disruptor thing. And, you know, that's what Super's doing, so I'd say he's in a very good position.
Yeah, while this goes on, the army chases outwards, the Adepts come back in. Once again, another Overcharge pops off, but threat to the probes. He's up about 8 workers, he's been mining off this base pretty comfortably, and Stats' Nexus is like not even halfway finished. I really love what Super's doing though, with the Stargate behind this. I think that Disruptors are really hard to beat, especially when you're already behind, so you don't want to come into that Disruptor fight, unless you're like the M Cannon God, who can land 1 Disruptor shot on 9 other Disruptors. Instead, Phoenixes make a lot more sense. Like, just lifting them up, constantly shutting this down. I love seeing what Super's doing. And if this works, this just gives me the confidence to say, like, you know what? Maybe that first game was just not a good game for him. Like, that if this works, this should kill Stats and bring in the game 3, then he's probably in good form.
Yeah. He definitely got a lead early game-wise, but that snipe on the Immortal was a very good decision. In hindsight, of course. So like I said, Super's he's gonna have Phoenixes not just for disruptors, but also for the Immortals. They're gonna be pretty useful. I really don't think there's a chance that these Phoenixes will kind of just be lame ducks in the sky. You know, I don't see that happening.
Did you just sell me like some kind of slave in chat?
What? No, I guess.
And for only $100? Am I only worth $100 to you?
Cheap. You've called yourself cheap before.
Yeah, but I get to do that.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's like, you know, I'm the only one who can say
that you're a slut.
Yeah.
You've been in everyone's bed, Zombie Grub. Everyone's bed in esports.
If anybody else calls me a slut, I'm just like, stop slut shaming. As a feminist, that just doesn't go with me. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, don't. If I'm not allowed to go there, you're not allowed to go there.
But the going there had to do with slut shaming, and everyone agrees that's not cool. Everyone agrees.
I was just say, like, what if I didn't? Then you're already incorrect. In fact, furthermore, it makes you a liar.
Are you? Do you judge people on how many people they've slept with?
Only if the number's in the triple digits.
Wow. Okay, fine.
At that point, it might not be. It might actually be an addiction, and you might have your problem, and that's where the concern comes in. It's not judgment,
whoa.
but
What
you're
if
just.
the person's like 70 years old then?
What if the person's got like every STD in the world? At that point, they're just doing a disservice by spreading disease to everybody else, like some kind of rat in the Renaissance.
What the fuck is that?
The Black Plague. You know.
I know where you were going with it, but you just went off the deep end. Anyway.
I would like to remind everybody that regardless of where this conversation came up, this started with Zombie Grub slut shaming, okay?
What? No. This is not going to be the whole, you know, murder people thingamajig.
No, I don't even know what you're worried about, because even when you're totally wrong, everyone still takes your side over mine, so it doesn't matter.
No. You did start something with the murders and the only when I'm drunk and all that shit. Like, people still copy paste that.
I don't know what you're talking about. I've said publicly so many times, Zombie Grub does not murder children.
Calm yourself down.
That disruptor got a shot that it should not have gotten.
No, that was
the Phoenix should have lifted it. That was like a complacency out of Super. That could cost him here. There's 4 more disruptors where that came from, but there's a lot of Phoenix with a lot of graviton beams, and they don't need to kill the disruptors. They just need to pick them up after they fire to cancel their shot. It's the only goal of these Phoenix.
Gotta say though, I'm kind of surprised that Stats lasted this long, even though I still think that he's on a slightly inferior composition. The Disruptors are doing enough in terms of buying time. I really thought it'd just be swoop in, cancel the shots, and then that's done for. But I guess since the armies have grown so large, Super doesn't want to risk the cancels, well, not canceling basically. You know, like picking up Disruptors before they've actually shot, and then not being able to kill them. Like right here, he automatically loses one of them, and I still think has a shot, but it's not being used. There we go. And then he has to run away.
Yeah. The Phoenix are also going to double down. It'd be nice for fighting against this Colossus if that comes down to it. Fleet Beacon's on the way, though. I'm curious if he's aiming for Tempest at this stage. Or if he's going to stick with what he's got. I mean, again, like, army supplies are very close. Disruptors are a lot more gambly than Super's army is, but I feel like if Super can get past these Disruptors, he's going to end up winning the fight. Immortals in the air, they're not fighting anything. Colossus left unprotected because of this. And those 4 Immortals on the backside, which were all damaged badly by that Disruptor earlier, are just pushing through. And there's nothing left on the ground to protect these Colossus. Double kill!
Yeah, those Immortals, man, not being touched. Revenge.
GG. All right, so before we get out of the game here, I really want to stress, I knew Super was good enough to take on Stats. It was really unfortunate watching that first game not really go very well, frankly. But I feel like he had such a better handle of the game in Map 2 there.
Yes, he did.
Also, like, guys, I don't know...
God damn it!
What? What? Zombie doesn't murder children. You should stop spreading that rumor.
Thanks, Terminator, for the 57 bits.
All right. Oh, we got Paladino Terminal. What a perfect time to get a little bit memey. We'll see you guys in a Van Damme second. All right, game number 3. Things are tied up 1-1. Oh, that's where we normally do a commercial break. Whoops. Okay, well, anyways, game number 3.
Wasn't too busy.
Well, someone does not murder children in their spare time. And those rumors and allegations need to stop. It's not funny, guys. That's someone in Zombie Grub. But just like those dead children, I'm beating a dead horse, and let's get into the intros. Top left side, we got the red Protoss playing for Splice. Give it up for Stats.
In the bottom right is the pink Protoss. He is Super.
All right, so Super, by the way, again, like, I think it was pretty clear cut. He knew what Stats was going to be doing. Maybe he didn't actually intend to get ahead with that third the way he did. And that was actually really awesome. That's like real subtle macro, but like really good macro. But the Phoenix choice was kind of last second. I don't know if that was something he was planning or something he saw an opportunity to go for, but I loved it, and it worked out so well for him.
The single gateway really did work out, and he's gonna go for the same thing here. And by single game, I mean, was last game also Nexus first? We were too busy talking about shit.
Well, I'm more curious about this. Yes, the chat's pointing out the pylon for Stats here. This can't be efficient for mining.
Yeah, I've seen it done before, so I do sometimes wonder if it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I guess it might be just such a...
I also don't see a reason as to why you should put it there. But whatever.
Well, Stats has got better income, so whatever. Income graph.
Well, it makes sense, right? He's got a Nexus. Anyways, so yeah, I suppose Nexus first here, which sounds pretty greedy. It wasn't punished last game. In fact, it was kind of the opposite. Stats went in, looked around, and was like, okay, I'll leave, and there's just not much you could do.
Yeah, I was gonna say, even if it wasn't about Nexus first or not, it still goes down the same logic applies to that third base, right? But they both opened double stalkers last time, I believe, so it's interesting to see Adepts come out this time out of Stats.
Well, I think that is going to be better at trying to do something, because the one stalker popped out, right? And then the second one popped out like 10, 15 seconds later. And, the point is, like, not only is it like only one stalker for a period of time, it's also one stalker, like, a little bit later, and the 2 Stalkers a little bit later. So they're not meeting the Adepts in the middle. But Super is chronoing the Stalkers, which I think is probably a good move. If Stats had gone directly to the main base, these Adepts might have gotten something done, but at least they're going to be caught a little here.
And quick reminder, too, this is the losers match of the group, so if Super wins this game... Oh, nice block.
Psych!
If Super wins this game, then we won't even have to worry about whether Stats has a conflict with GSL or not. Just get knocked out of the group. Alternatively, though, if Stats does win, he'll move on to the finals. But people were asking what happened to Kelazur. He hasn't played yet, guys. The winner's match of Gumiho and Kelazur is up next. Also... Well, I was going to say real quick that he's going to get outnumbered here in the middle of the map. This is not very good. Super pushed back into his own base pretty quickly. But
I was going to ask, did he wall off in the last game?
I don't believe so, because it wasn't really on his side of the map, right? It was all on Stats' side of the map.
Yeah, but Stats... Yeah, so Stats on Stalkers last game, and he just kind of left once he saw those Stalkers, and there's not much to be done. But if he had gone for Adepts last game and there wasn't a wall off, I wonder if the Adepts do too much damage. It doesn't really matter, but the point is he did wall off here and he denied the Adept, and it was pretty cool. He did have to burn a lot of chrono boost on the gateways to kind of make up for it, and then I think he purposefully kind of kept chrono boosting because he wanted even a little bit of aggression on his own. But now it's back to the Nexus. It's at a point where they both have Nexus and both have even probes. Oh!
Unfortunately, the Stalker's getting cut off by that force field. It's a little bit vicious.
That was really good, even.
Did you hear like a really weird robotic sound when it died?
Yeah, I heard that last game too.
Okay, I wasn't sure. By the way, the Lost Sandwich in chat says, came here for the StarCraft 2, stayed for the Maymays. That's, I think, BaseTradeTV in a nutshell. We're just clickbaiting you guys with good players and hoping you'll stay for our content.
Hot woman on the cover.
Who? I mean, one of those things describes you.
Anyway.
Same problem Mike I'm going to play here. He's got to be so careful of those force fields. He knows it too. Like, the overcharge is going to do so much damage. Baits that out. Very nicely done. Adept sneak past. But, ooh, Stats is waiting. And these Stalkers immediately take care of the Adepts.
This SimCity in the main ends up being kind of cool. Except for the awkward gas. This is, like, perfect triangle of protection. So that's kind of important though, because if he had one less pylon, or God forbid no pylons at the front base, those 6 Stalkers could have been an issue, even with the force fields.
Is that why it's the Bermuda Triangle? Everything gets lost in it because it was defended and killed?
Oh, because it's in the shape of a triangle.
Oh, okay, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
Bad at you right now, but as the Adepts get shuttled across the map, I mean, Stats has had a pretty good defense so far, and the minor amount of losses is actually starting to build up now. Like, it's only 2 Stalkers extra over that probe, but we got a big gap in that supply. Super's going for that third base again. Like, this harassment for him is really important, and he's just not quite nailing it. Stats.
Yeah, Super. Go.
No, after you.
Okay,
that was awkward.
Super is supposed to have that better opener, and then he decided to go a little bit aggressive with it. It just didn't work, and he is kind of recovering from that. So, definitely could have played a different game.
The awkward thing I was going to point out was Stats is actually playing almost exactly the same as last time. Like, he's behind again to that third, not as behind this time, but having gotten the production on Robo, forcing out his Robo base so he can eventually get the disruptors. Like, this almost worked last time. It fell apart kind of the fact that he gave Super enough time to get the Stargates. If this time he just hits harder, faster, and better, maybe it won't be the same case. He's gonna have to cancel this. There's no way this is gonna get up. Well,
he might want to let it take a few shots, but I agree. That was really dangerous. I thought the Adepts would have pounced on those sentries. I mean, they might still. If they get on top of them, they're gonna go in pretty quickly. And there's the cancel on the third. Not bad, not bad. Adepts kind of get some scouting, but more of a distraction for the main base Adepts.
Yeah, that warping got a lot in, but this probe pull was great. Super's really just not catching Stats off guard here, and it's only 6 probe kills for the dedication of this much. I mean, the funny thing is the supply block's probably the most devastating part of this so far, but
Yeah, because his stats are starting to like bank a lot here, and he is still only working on 4 gateways in a robo,
Well,
which is just barely enough to use 800 minerals.
Well, I'd say the biggest part of this though is it hampers his disruptor production, which you need. Like one disruptor is not going to cut it.
It is important that we talk about the disruptors. That's going to be a tech advantage, and Super isn't in quite that comfortable position he was last game, where getting to Phoenixes was even easy. Loses an Immortal here, and maybe even a second one, yeah. Pretty good force pulls once again from stats. His third base might be later, but his army composition might be better.
Super's attack also gets shut down through the Warp Prism, so that was like a two-pronged win for stats. Also, Kui's, I'm not sure if you actually did or not, but it says, Ting Hype, just use my base trade code to order my new phone line. Get Hype StarCraft. Kui's, you're saving esports, man. You might not realize it, but good job.
Yeah, thanks to Swifty290. Really good Prime sub. And thanks to Stats for maybe winning this game.
Yeah, he's just kind of out of hand. Forget the disruptors for a shot. Like the rest of the army, he's got +1. These disruptors are getting good hits. That's it. That's game. GG. And Super is out of the group. That's going to put Stats through to the finals, where he's got a chance to play against either Kelazur or Gumiho. But we're going to be casting that one next to find out who it is. But I got to tell you, before we even watch these games, like, Gumiho versus Innovation today, if Gumiho plays this game, like, even half as good as that series versus Innovation, like, I'm just going to say Kelazur's in a lot of trouble.
Oh, yeah.
But we are going to go to commercial break before then, and for those who don't know what we're talking about, when it's the phone line and quiz and all these awesome shoutouts, again, Ting is a phone service in the United States. For some of you, this will actually save you money and maybe be even better than what you have right now. For many of you, maybe your data rate and packages and all that you have with your phone. What did you just do? You just went like bright white. No, don't make that face.
I open up Chrome.
But for many of you, sure, this won't be great, but for many of you, it will be. So please consider at least checking it out and see if Ting is for you guys. Head on over to bttv.ting.com. But we're going to go to that break, and we'll see you guys here in a little bit. Where's the button thing?